Traveler of this place, 3D. Let yourself find your way to this place. Welcome, friends. As we're just chilling. We just played out. We're working on a few loops here. They're sort of one-shot meditative journeys that we're just chilling in Ableton. We're just sort of weaving these together, sort of what we did last week, and as we've been releasing the last week or so, been creating these meditative journeys where we're basically just doing singular one-shot takes and letting the resonance patterns stretch out, and then just arranging them to create very comprehensive journeys. Sort of my vision has been to create these very beautiful but palatable meditative journeys and pair these with, nature, visuals, and philosophical quotes, and just weave it together as a sort of content experience, and just kind of just put those out, ideally daily. Just kind of put out a bunch, let the algorithm sort of calibrate to that, and see how that unravels. I don't know, it feels pretty good. Feels very comprehensive. Cheers. Thank you, Piro Zek. Welcome, brother. But yeah, man, as we've been sort of underlining a lot these last, number of days, like last 5-6 days, we've been, doing streams where we're chilling in the forest. It's a nice day. It's like overcast. We may just go chill in the forest at some point, do some compositions and work on some meditative stuff and create this journey, these meditative journeys. Oh, it's looping again. This is basically what I created. I think I might call this... there's 0 point. Something related to, I don't know, something related to meditation. Something related to meditation, but this is something I just created about 5 minutes ago. If you were here about a moment ago, I just was weaving over pamphlet to this. It's basically the same thing that I do on these meditative journeys as I do guitar and performance, but it's very curated. You know, every sound is beautifully placed. Every resonance pattern is kind of just riding out. Here's my amp here. Maybe we'll just bring this closer for you guys. It's basically the ultimate form of looping. Yeah, but it just goes off where it's really emphasizing the resonance patterns behind this. One second, we're gonna take our pick here. I've been working on sort of using this amp setup, you know, on this baby and just kind of weaving it together, all the sounds, and making it very minimalistic. Like, you know, not trying to sort of overwhelm the resonance patterns themselves by just kind of creating less, you know, letting less be more. And I think for recording music, it's very helpful. It's a very good practice to kind of underwhelm the microphone, so to speak, and then you can sort of master it after. Whoa. I don't know, because it's kind of counter to what I've been doing with, you know, my busking setup, or if I'm performing or just chilling and playing music in public. I find I want to work on trying to balance the sound with the environment, you know, the sounds of all the people in the city or whatever. But this is kind of obviously the opposite practice, where I'm trying to work on making it really just as quiet and perfectly balanced. And it's producing a nice sound, I find. It's very palatable. It's the sort of I'm playing around with what I've been releasing in these last couple of videos. Though they may be a little bit too quiet. Like, I feel like even the one that I made that was like a DMT-esque portal or whatever I named it, I feel like it may have been a little bit too quiet, but yeah. Okay. People are riding they're feeling the religious ideology train. I mean, I want to leave a caveat saying this has nothing to do with religious ideology, so all the power to you, but this is not, this is a music channel. You know, I love to talk about philosophies, metaphysics, but, yeah, I'd say if you want to promote and preach and, you know, share your truth about religious ideology, find another channel, yeah, you know, all the power to you. But this is not the place, my friend. I'm sure you can find many, you know, religious or political ideology related channels that would be happy to hear your truth. But I have to say, the caveat is that's not what this is. I honestly, I'm a matter of, I love and promote, you know, I'm all for spirituality as a whole. Doesn't matter if you're practicing this religious ideology, that religious ideology. But in all truth, you know, I personally resonate more with, you know, just a broader context of like spirit, of source, of whatever you want to call it. I think it's all relevant. It's all beautiful. All these different ideologies have beautiful dimensions of truth. But I don't personally subscribe to one particular, and I don't really desire to promote that. I'm just going to quickly go into my live on the computer and see how the sound is kind of coming out on your guys' end. Man, I just want to say random as fuck, but I really appreciate the random stuff I've been finding from Matt Rife. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Matt Rife, the comedian. He's just chill guy, honestly, and the more I hear his like crowd work and I hear his like style of comedy, it's beautiful. Time is God, God is time. Interesting. I don't know about that, bro. I mean, hey, I respect your opinion, bro, but one sec. Just want to hear how my sound. Yeah, blah 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 blah, just yapping, saying words. Okay, it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud. Maybe we could even like turn it down a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, I would say in the greater essence, if we're talking philosophically, if we're gonna like address, my honest opinion, I think, well, time is not real. Like, time is not real. There's only the present reality. As we understand what metaphysics underlines and emulates, time is not real. We perceive, we think there's the past and the future, but there's not. There's just the present. If the quantum theory tells us anything, is everything's infinite, we're infinite. So time is not real per se. We perceive time, and we're very much like materialistically convinced that time is real. And then God is who we are. So if time is not real, and we are in fact all embodiments of God, how can time be God? If you're saying like time is like the godly sort of complex that controls us, or has like a almost like a god complex overseeing thing. I don't even say god complex is the word, but I don't know. But if you say that, maybe, then maybe. But I don't say time is God, God is time. That's a little bit of a, I don't know. That's an incomplete statement. But I appreciate you expressing that, brother. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Because how can time be real? Really, like, yes, I experience it. Time is going by right now. We're in 12 minutes in a stream. It's time in the world. We measure time. It's a beautiful convention, but when you understand philosophically, like, I've been doing a lot of meditation lately, which, it's probably like a lot of people. I find it hilarious that people have their own preconceptions or their own association with meditative practice, which of course they should. I have, for many years, I've like desired to develop something of a relationship with meditation, and honestly failed time again and again. And that's honestly why when the last couple streams I was chilling in the valley and forest and whatever, and I was just chilling meditating and talking about some of these interesting experiences with meditation recently. Where lately, basically the last 7-8 days, I've been meditating for more than I have in my entire life. Truthfully, like, I don't know how. I mean, I kind of know how, but for whatever reason, I've been able to slip into meditative trances. Like, the moment I sit down, I'll immediately slip into 10-minute meditation sessions, 10, 20, 30-minute meditation sessions. And I've been doing it for about an hour a day, every single day, without fail, without any sort of like deeper level of distraction. Maybe like the odd day I'll be like, word, my mind is, a little bit dysregulated, or I'll have to really lean into the practice. But long story short, meditation really is like, if you successfully sit in the state of, 0 point or no mind or whatever you want to call it, when you enter a meditative state, at least how I've found myself do it, you regularly are engaging within the reality that time is not real. You sit in meditation, like, if you can successfully sit in a meditative state, and you drift in like a 10, 20, 30-minute meditative state, it lets you come to grips with the fact that time is not real. Like, even if it's helpful, I find, to literally just acknowledge that time is not real. Like, time is not real. My identity of self is not real. These thoughts, they are not here. I am. It's just like, you simply let yourself surrender into a complete blank state where nothing is present. Time is not real. Your identity is not real. And eventually, if you sit in meditation, you begin to sort of feel into that. You're like, that's true. Okay, so then now this moment is surrendering. You're surrendering to the moment of timelessness. And even just simply, maybe you don't enter a profound meditative trance, but I think there's something extraordinary if you are, fortunate to be able to sit in a meditative state for, say, multiple times a day, say 10 minutes, 20 minutes, multiple times a day, and you're giving yourself permission to suspend the idea of time. Like, just that alone is invaluable. Truly, like that's what I found. It's like you giving yourself permission to be like, even just in your nervous system, like, time is not real. I don't have to concern myself with all the hyper stimulus of what I must do, of who I must be, of where I must go, etc., etc. That alone is really healthy, I find. And then beyond that, there's no failure in meditation. Hello, I love your words. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm just chilling, just sharing some thoughts. McDonald's bathroom, nice. Jeez, sour sauce. I don't know what to tell you, that totally non-Dion guy or whatever. That doesn't really sound like actual, and like an actual fun experience. Still kind of getting warmed up here. We're in standard tuning, but open A sharp, because we're in capoing the second. So it's a beautiful tuning, very beautiful tuning. We're just like in a beautiful key here, but kind of gonna play around with that. Shalom, welcome, brother, welcome to the homie. I forget his name, but the homie who says shalom a lot. Someone told me if they fail every time, their body's the urge to move, and they have to restart, and there's no failures or right or wrong during meditation. All thoughts and feelings will come and go. Yeah, yeah. I'm 31. Yeah, I'm 31, bro. Yeah, dog. That's 100%. This is the thing. This is the thing that blows my mind, man, every time. Because I love to talk about this stuff. Like meditation, it's, I mean, face value, what I'm going to extract that's going to translate from my practice, from my narratives, from my own sort of egoic displacement, is going to be completely different. It's going to be individualistic. It's going to be individual to me, right? So basically, everyone has to unpackage their own ego and their own narratives in whatever way is unique to them, particularly in meditation. What I'm basically saying is every person has to figure out their own way to meditate. There's no right or wrong way. I mean, there are wrong ways, maybe. Like if you're, not succeeding. But the reality is, like, some people, might be like, word, you want to do some sort of beautiful visualization or guided meditative thing. And honestly, of course, I'm an advocate of that. I create meditative journeys, and I'm an advocate of just meditative music. And, meditation, guitar is like meditation to me. Dance is meditation. I don't know, Qigong and all these different things, right? But in truth, this is what I've been realizing. And this is what I realized about 10 days ago. I did a microdose, so more of on the perimeter to a macrodose of LSD, and I sat in meditation. I basically did this LSD. It was very good liquid LSD, and I went into the field, like a really blank field in the valleys of Westwood, and I sat there for an hour and a half. I just sat there, the entire LSD trip, beyond afterwards going and creating this, video that I released, the DMT portal, whatever. I sat there for an hour and a half. Never in my life have I ever meditated for a solid hour and a half. Never. It was the first time. And the essence of it, and I've talked about this. I talked to this on this other stream where I was chilling in the forest or valley or whatever. But basically what I'm trying to say is I, for the first 10 minutes, was experiencing the mind. I experienced a lot of the mind. The LSD was kind of saturating and kicking in, and I experienced narratives of, thinking about emotions grieving certain dimensions of maybe components of my previous relationship, and was like thinking about, I don't know, my spinal alignment. I was thinking about discomfort in my body, and I don't know, I was thinking about the people around me, you know, like in the field, and eventually as they're coming and going. And I got to this point where after 10 minutes, you know, I just decided, okay, I'm going to accept this. Like, just like, yeah, I just decided all this. The discomfort is true. It is a part of the meditation. Even if I'm sitting for 10 minutes and I'm experiencing discomfort, my mind isn't stilling, I'm just going to sit with this no matter what. I'm locked into this. And after that 10-minute period, I did Wim Hof breath work. Like, I just flipped on a little video. I was like staring at the sky. You know, the clouds were looking very psychedelic-y because the LSD was kicking in. And then I did breath work. I did a 10-minute Wim Hof breath work session, which I do Wim Hof breath work pretty much every day. Super dope stuff. But anyway, I did this breath work. After that, I felt very calm. And I took on my pan flute, you know, and just played some pan flute stuff. And after that moment, I slowly just began to just accept the idea that meditation, like, it was just happening very naturally. I was like, meditation is not the state of trying to just be an observer necessarily of your thoughts. I mean, it can be. Meditation isn't necessarily creating a visual, spiritual-esque journey. I mean, it can be, but I was accepting the truth that the reality, in the deepest sense, and it made sense because I was on this LSD, I guess. Maybe it was a little more lucid. I was like, what if meditation is never meant to be any of these things that someone tells you meditation is? I mean, it can be. It can be anything. It can be everything. But it made me realize in the moment, I was like, meditation, in the deepest sense, maybe is truly just nothing. Nothing. No doing, no thoughts. Like, if your mind's like, now I'm suspending the ego, I am slipping into a state of no mind, blah, 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 that, you can even let that go. You can be like, oh, but that's not relevant here. It's just nothing. You're giving yourself full permission to think nothing, to not try to identify with nothing. Even the idea of trying to identify with you or identify with nothing is still trying to form the thought. It's just letting go of everything. Like, no, there is nothing in this space. No thoughts. I'm not trying to become anything, become spiritual or still my mind. I'm not trying to do anything, but literally just nothing. Pure sitting there doing nothing. And after sort of sitting with that for like about 40 minutes, I began to feel this very distinct feeling. It's very similar to what I feel sometimes when I'm on Apex of Shrooms or when I'm on like Changa DMT. It's like a similar feeling, but not the same feeling. But it's like just a weird like feeling that's kind of like, you know, maybe my lower chakra, mid chakra center, whatever. It was just like a feeling. I was like, what is this feeling? That was awakening. And it was a little bit of a sort of a blissful feeling, but it wasn't necessarily even that. It was just like a conscious feeling of like, okay, meditation, sitting here for so long and recognizing that, I'm now zero point, I'm nothing. It was like a weird feeling that felt intriguing. So I was like, I'm curious to follow this feeling. I'm not trying to think about being still or, I don't know, entering a whatever meditative trance. It was like, I just want to see what this feeling is. I'm going to focus on this feeling. It wasn't focusing on the breath. It was like the breath was gone. It was just like, what is this feeling? And basically the essence of it is I felt into that feeling, and next thing I knew, I was meditating, you know, with my timer. It said I was there for an hour and 30 minutes. And yeah, it was like, so the simplest part of what I've been trying to unpackage and convey is, I think meditation is it's not a state of suspending the mind. It's not necessarily a practice. It's not like any of these things. And you might hear this. Osho says the same thing. You know, I've heard Osho say this, and I still didn't really understand it. But what I'm simply trying to articulate is, meditation is nothing. You do nothing. You think nothing. Even the idea of trying to think about nothing is still thinking about something. But you gotta like somehow experience and give yourself full permission to not even try to do anything and accept that meditation is nothing. It's pure nothingness. You don't even try to be spiritual or be still or whatever. You're gone. You're just gone. And it's weird because what I've noticed is, you know, thoughts arise every like 40 minutes. I would get like these wild little blips of like, you know, thinking about like the quantum and quantum theory, and I'll get these glimmers of my life, but then I would just disappear. Like, no, let's just let all that go. Just it's gone. It's gonna go. This is not what I'm here. I'm here to do nothing, just to be nothing, and give myself permission for that. And Yeah. All I can say is the essence of, I kind of underlined this in my other talk, well, the, the meditative talk thing, is what I came to realize after this hour and a half of meditation, and this is like a very clear cut, intellectualized thought, is what if meditation is not supposed to be a spiritual tool or a spiritual practice that you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this for 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day because I'm going to check it off that box and be like, I have meditated and I facilitated the meditative state. What if meditation is never meant to be that? What if meditation is actually supposed to be a thing that more so is a thing like an embodiment that is meant to be done for 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours at a time, in its fullest sense? Maybe not in the entire session, but meditation, what if it's supposed to be something that you only actually begin to attain the truest, deepest benefit, in quotations, or just like whatever you're trying to get from it? Maybe it's a feeling, an hour in, 45 minutes in, an hour and a half in, 2 hours in. That was the kind of curious thought. I was like, what if we've all been kind of perceiving this wrong? We think you do 10 minutes of meditation, good job. You've sat there still, you've relaxed the mind to some degree. But what if the actual reality of what you're attaining in a meditative state is something that's genuinely only accessible in the last 5 or 10 minutes of an hour or plus meditative session that you have to do every single day, more or less? It was like that was the sort of stream of thought. I was like, wait a second. So I've sat here for an hour and a half, and only in the last like 10, 15 minutes did I actually begin to feel like a deep, deep level of like pure bliss, pure surrender, whatever you want to call it. That was not like in the mind. It was just a feeling. I was like, okay, that felt nice. And I was also on LSD at this point. Like LSD really helped facilitate this, but it made me recognize, I was like, what if meditation is supposed to be a lengthily devoted, dedicated practice that is genuinely only like in the last like 5-10 minutes of this session that you do for an hour or 40 minutes or whatever is your lengthy practice every single day, that you eventually begin to slowly attain something from. And it's not something maybe that we can tangibly understand because it's the non-material. It's maybe you form a relationship with the quantum. Maybe it's, breaking open your own material addiction to compulsive activity, which is what it is. But it was just this stream of thought where I was like, I'm so curious to try to understand and see what is in this last little blip. Like, what is the actual end point, truly? And the reality is, obviously, it's meditation. There's no end point. It's infinite. Like, it's going to get more and more intricate no matter what. But I don't know. It was an interesting thought that it was a few epiphanies that made so much sense. Please play Game of Thrones. Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it is nothing new or trippy, just calm and collected thoughts. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can be. I'm sure that's the thing, is meditation masters or people that, devote extended periods of time to meditation, when eventually it streams into everything they do, it's possible that they can actually connect those dots. Like they form a relation with the quantum, and suddenly they've interwoven this 0 point state into everything they do. But that takes, I'm sure, a long period of time that most of us probably haven't even touched. But in the simplest right, meditation is like the ultimate embodiment. It's like, and this is another thought I had, was like, I don't think meditation is a spiritual tool per se. It's not a practice you do. It's not like you are spiritual, so therefore you should meditate, or you meditate because you're spiritual. Meditation is the entire spirituality. Like, it's the entire context. It's like the actual experience of entering a meditative portal is basically the epicenter of all spiritual practice. Like, it is what spirituality is. It's never been about like it's a tool that you put in your tool belt that you apply. I mean, it can be, but it's the idea is that I came to kind of sit with, like, what if genuinely meditation is just, it is what spirituality is. It's never been not. I don't know. Anyway. doing here, what we've been doing here, as you know, before we popped on the stream, as we're gonna continue, is we've been doing, like, I'll kind of show you briefly. We're doing these one-shot takes on Ableton, right? We got Ableton open here, and we basically are working on, like, say you play a note, right? Here we are, right? I play a note that has a resonance pattern. Actually, got to plug in this here. Right? You strike something. The resonance pattern's still going. Like, it's still going. Still going. Now it's just about ended, right? That's one resonance pattern. I think the core thing I've been trying to practice is trying to work on learning to feel into those and compose these meditative journeys, or just write or play music or whatever, more conscious of those subtle resonance patterns. Like, just as I strike this tingsha, right? You can kind of hear, maybe if I do into the microphone, it's a little more clear. It's just riding a wave, right? It's, oh yeah, the microphone's not flipped. I gotta lock in, but yeah, it's like when you hear the resonance pattern, right? It has a tail. It has like a stream. There it is. So what I've been working on, like, you know, every point when I speak into the microphone has a tail effect, or if I'm it's just kind of streaming, right? It's going into like streaming, just doing a thing. It's bouncing around. And the idea is, what if you introduce, heightened awareness to those tail end effects? You're just like, let's like listen to those, record the entire wave as I've been doing here, and then you just operate from there. Because, you know, when you play guitar often, it's kind of like you play a note. Oh, whoa. What happened there? Oh, I hit the, yeah, there we go. But you hit a note, right? And then the note often doesn't fully complete, right? You know, you hit another note. You're just like, let's hit another note. You're just like... And often, you know, you don't really introduce that full awareness to the way one note streams into the next note. You can, but often cases you just don't. You know, so many notes are happening. But yeah, the core essence of what I'm focusing right now is like, how can I really play around with this? Like you said, it is nothing new, this, that. Please play Game of Thrones. I'd say don't spam the chat. I don't know, bro. What is Game of Thrones? I've done little covers where I played around with the keys of Game of Thrones. But honestly, bro, I've never seen Game of Thrones. Never watched the show. I've heard the theme. I have a very loose awareness how the theme goes, but I've never, like, played it. And I don't know. I think that's the core little theme. Yeah, I messed that up, but that's, you know, it makes more sense maybe to play it on a violin kind of sound. So, it's a nice song. I mean, honestly, Game of Thrones is beautiful music, but it's not a series I have watched or even am remotely familiar with. But I don't know, maybe one day. Let's see. I need more rosin, I think, for that. But yeah, I'd say don't spam, bro. Osho is ridiculous. It's like being an art teacher showing Hitler's paintings. Osho was a predator in a bio-attack. Wow. Well, there's a lot to say there. I mean, Osho did seem like he had very unconventional behaviors. But bro, how have you not successfully unpackaged anything relating to like what he's saying? Like you can listen to meditative teachers and not like agree with what their practices are in sort of some sort of, I don't know, what's the word? Yeah, some sort of controversial light. Like I don't know. Like I don't know, bro. I don't know what Osho's cult practices were. I've heard things. I've heard of things. I don't know. I wouldn't agree with everything Osho did or said in his life, not even remotely. But yeah, I don't know. You seem to like. I know you've appeared here many times, Dark, and you seem to host. I would say, like, if I'm being so forthcoming, you seem to host a lot of different uh, spectrums or extremes of perspectives. Like sometimes Dark Lumen, you pop in here and you're just like, "Yo, what's good? Blessings from Russia. We are here." Blah blah blah, saying some nice stuff, and it's like I'm like, "Thank you for being here, brother." But sometimes it seems like you're kind of like, you know, going through some shit and you're kind of feeling unhinged in a real sense. Like you just seem to not have a very, very good social filter. Not to say you have to. I mean, you welcome as you are, but also, take it with a grain of salt. We're not here to kind of like, let's say, demonize things from a sort of like one dimensional lens. Like if you can't understand the teachings of just Osho's philosophies and be like, oh, there's maybe some truth in this. You know what? I like this part about challenging the models of love or challenging the models of this, that, the other. Like they're healthy philosophies. Like I don't know, you don't know Osho personally. You weren't a part of his community. You didn't know shit. Like you're basically giving weight to fear. And like I'm not gonna, say that Osho, I'm sure he's a controversial dude. I've heard dimensions and pieces of people's perspectives that say that yeah, he had some practices and parts of how he operated his cult and parts of his life that was pretty disintegral, maybe unethical even. But honestly, bro, it seems like you're just giving weight to a lot of fear. Like fear-based narratives. Like Osho aside, if you can't separate the cardinal teachings, like I wouldn't say I'm a devoted Osho follower. I'm not some sort of like never been part of his community. I don't know. I don't hold a, let's say, definite or one-dimensional opinion of him. I'm not like saying he's the best or the worst, but it seems like you're giving weight to a lot of fear. Like you're fixating on some thing that you don't even know. I mean, maybe it is true. Who knows? But like, I don't know, bro. That seems like a very strange perspective. Yeah. I took LSD that day. Of course, I'm great, dude. T Partipers Gaming. Yeah, bro. I mean, have you never done, and I'm talking about, like, let me be clear here. I mean, I don't desire to, I'd say, promote or advocate, you know, scheduled compound use, even though in my country, LSD is not scheduled. At least I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Like you can't technically. It's at dispensaries. It's very active. They sell it through the government. It's a very widely available compound, but it's not like shamed upon. It's not frowned upon. Not to say LSD is like, it's a medicine. You got to be conscious of it. And honestly, I'm not even a major proponent of LSD. I literally barely use it. And even when I do use it, I'm talking about like low doses, like subperpetual 1 milligram, which in this tincture is not even a microdose. It's like half a microdose from liquid LSD. It's laboratory tested liquid LSD, LSD 25, in a liquid tincture in a microdose. Safe, very safe. Like if you know anything about LSD, if you've tried those waters, we're not talking about, you know, going down the rabbit hole and taking 4 or 5 plus tabs. I've never even gone that deep at all, and I don't desire to. But it seems like you have a fundamental misconception of how LSD works. Because yeah, taking like LSD a couple times or a few times a year in a microdose, I'm okay. I appreciate the concern, but I'm completely okay. Yeah. Lucy Rising a Portal. Wow. Trip Tarpus Gaming. I honestly, bro, I have a feeling you're not. I don't think you're my audience member, my dog. You seem like you're a little bit. You don't really practice, I would say, the precision of language or the emotional intelligence to hold space for this channel. You know, food for thought, because it seems like you're kind of going, you're making some very extreme connections. But hey, say la vie. Not everyone's an audience. Not everyone's like I really desire to have as an audience member of this channel. Like if you're saying outlandish stuff, you don't really know how to, you know, navigate social cues or have a, you know, an emotionally intelligent conversation or practice some self-awareness in the way you desire to show up, talking about things that are beautiful and important to talk about, then again, you know, exit the stream, find another channel, bro, because that's not what this is for. Part 2 of my OF. Wow. I don't know what you're talking about, dog. Wow. Thank you, Buffalo Bill M. Like you're one of those. You don't get any more than 2 bars of music at a time on this channel. It's mostly when you're talking fidgeting. Bro, I gotta say, I'm gonna be very forthcoming with you, Lemon. Like, I've appreciated your support of this channel, but in reality, I'm coming to this realization. I don't think you're someone that I actually desire to have a part of this community. Like, no, nothing personal to you. This is a YouTube channel. This is not like me walking up to you and be like, oh man, like you got controversial beliefs or you say unhinged stuff. That's cool, bro. But the more you show up, I'm not sure if you're actually somebody that I desire to enable in my comment section. I'm not sure if you're actually adding value in the way that this channel does. Not to say, like, again, speak your truth, brother. Like, Dark Lumen, do what you want, bro. You know, be unhinged, you know, roast people, use that comedic wit, bro. But I'm not sure if you're actually somebody that I want to enable, because it seems like you don't really practice or possess, at least the way you're showing up, the level of self-awareness to just actually like form thoughts that are comprehensive and are just regulated. Like, it seems you're just kind of like flying off the deep end. And hey, it is what it is, bro. You're a human being. I respect you for showing up and just being the way you are, but I have a feeling I'm probably going to remove your comment rights and ask you to leave this channel, because I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. Yeah. And it is what it is. Like, you know? At the end of the day, like, again, this is just a YouTube channel. You know, it's not me against you. It's not like, oh man, we're 2 human beings with opposing opinions. That's cool. No, I'm facilitating a YouTube channel. I'm not here to babysit or, you know, teach you emotional intelligence or self-regulation. That's not my role here. It's not. So if I recognize that I'm like, this person's kind of flying off the deep end, they don't really know how to read social cues or contribute to the conversation, I'm going to remove your comment rights. Like, I'm going to take those 2 seconds, ban you from this channel. Well, remove your comment rights. You can do whatever you want, you know, in the comment graveyard. But I just want to put that out there. Is like, if you're gonna not practice self-awareness in the words you say, it's all good, bro. Rock your truth. You got to figure these things out. But you're displaying a sort of compulsive behavior that doesn't align with the core values of this channel. And it is what it is. Like, I'm not here to babysit grown adults. I'm here to just kind of play music, talk about some philosophies, talk about meditation or whatever, you know, whatever's flowing. Play Wonderwall. Nice. So I'm going to focus my energy on this. I'm going to create a fresh composition. So for those of you that have just joined here, before I hit on the stream or I clicked go live on the stream, I created this little journey here where I basically just patiently wove together some guitar riffs, and various elements, and then I just, you know, built off of it. This is probably something I'm going to release as a video and then do some editing to create, you know, this beautiful journey. not sure if the screen is. Yeah, it's probably pretty good audio, I'd say. Let's see, words. Translated Spanish, all around humanity. Interesting. Thanks for sharing, man. And to understand, accept others' viewpoints and ideas without making them a part of yourself. Someone advocate and see multiple perspectives. Yeah, I agree with that so much, man. So that's basically, this is what I just recorded a moment ago. Well, before the stream popped on. Yeah, thank you for sharing your perspective, Joku Joe. Yeah. The water community, they seem to say look aside. There are many teachers that learn from a select somebody who is a grifter in such a bad way. I mean, that's a valid perspective. Again, I hear ya. I'm not one to say like Osho is the dude, but bro, honestly, I don't know. From what I've gathered from a lot of his philosophies, I mean, I don't know, they're valid thoughts to think about. I think, honestly, the more I've understood like all of Osho's teachings, like I'm not sure where you're getting your information. Maybe you know some personal people that are part of the community. I've actually met a handful of people that have been a part of Osho's community, and people that have, there's obviously the weird documentary that's very suspect, and I've read a few of his books. Again, I don't hold him on a pedestal. I just think a lot of his teachings, a lot of it's just his words, bro. They're just him extracting core philosophies, and I think very intelligently articulating them, and not. I think it's worth listening to, opposed to giving into fear. Like, it seems like you're just like fixating on like the fear-based narratives that, who knows, like, again, I don't know about you, bro, but this world is full of predatory behavior, of disintegral, morally skewed people. Unfortunately, it's a reality. I don't know if you've looked around. This world's kind of fucked up, and I hear you, brother. It's good to think about these things, to speak the truth and be like, you know what, I don't want to support this. I want to be aware of what this is happening. Like, bro, this world's a very dark place sometimes. But it's also important not to give weight to fear, not to almost like be consumed by fear and just project fear onto everything you see. It's important to practice a level of discernment that recognizes how to actually feel in fear. That's not to discount your words, bro. Who knows? You're probably right. Maybe I do have to take a step back and be like, you know what? Maybe Osho is a little bit more of an egregious character that's very disintegral. I got to research more, figure out more about what was really going on beneath the surface, and make a executive decision if I actually want to support his core philosophies. Again, I don't hold Osho on this like massive pedestal. I've read a lot of his books, or like 3 or 4 of them. Some of it I disagree with. I'm like, okay, like Osho's getting a bit, stretching this truth a bit. He's painting a little bit of a strange picture. It is what it is. But I think the core philosophies that he's trying to promote, that have nothing even to do with Osho as a person, those are things that are worth learning about, that I think has a depth of value. And it's more worth understanding, in my perspective, as a dude that's like, oh wait, should we challenge conventional models of love? Should we honor unconditional love? Should we honor unconditional trust and understand what the models of trust are? How can we show up in a way that's, challenging these societal models in a healthy way? How can we, I don't know, all the ways that Osho just is promoting things that are not new information. But it's like, if you're just too fixated on like, but there's these fear-based narratives of what Osho did and this and that you just discount and write off all the philosophies of what is related to Osho, that's you getting consumed by fear. That's you becoming almost like locked in, trapped to these quintessential parts that have nothing to do with Osho. That's just giving weight to fear. And again, all I'm simply saying is, everyone, you can get consumed by fear, brother. Like, you can get consumed by all the fear-based narrative. You can just look at the world and all you see is the shadow collectives, and you see all the dark expressions of humanity, and you don't know how to process it. You don't know how to, almost honor how you as a human being can show up in a place of integrity and be a place of discernment and actually be a figure that is honoring and integrating the shadow collective, not just being like, but it's all so dark, it's all consuming, like, I have to split myself off from it. If you can hold space for the shadow elements of humanity that is the deepest level of, like, I'd say, reverence and transmutation of, well, humanity, of being a human. Basically, the whole point of being a spiritual person is not to, like, romanticize all the, the bliss and the happy-go-lucky, rose-tinted glasses reality of things. I mean, yeah, there's bliss, there's ecstasy, there's higher vibrational experience of things, but it's more important to understand the whole point of why you wake up, why you integrate reality and want to, break free from the programming, is to be able to actually successfully hold space and discern the darker dimensions of humanity. If you see the darker things and you get consumed by fear, you're not doing a service to the deeper dimension. Now, not to say you have to sit here and fill your reality with all the bizarre, harrowing, dark dimensions. No, honor your body, honor your healing process, honor what's real for you. But I'm saying is, it's a cornerstone of a dimension of, I'd say, spiritual integration or strength, if you will, or resilience, to be able to understand how important it is to hold space for the shadow collective and not get consumed by fear. Not saying that's what you're doing, bro. Like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like you are showing up from a very, like, fear-based narrative of being like, oh man, like, we gotta just, like, jump at and attack this with fear. But and again, it is what it is. But I'm saying is, you can choose love, you can choose fear. Many people, they're programmed by fear. Hell, this world is successfully programming the mass majority of us from fear. And I invite you to maybe just sit with that. Be like, you know what? Is there something beyond fear here? Can you hold space for that which you might see is controversial or is like the actual embodiment of the shadow of the collective, and see it with a healthy lens? Can you hold space for it? Because that's what the masculine need to do. Like, men, we need a world where men don't run away. Like, there's so much, like, without going on a deep philosophical or psychological rant or whatever, I'll make this pretty short. Is like, the world is in the state it's in because men fundamentally are weak. We're desensitized, we're numbed, we seek to numb. We seek to run away from the truth. We're all doing this, men and women. We're defaulting into escapism. We're numbing the reality of what's going on in the world because we don't want to face the discomfort of what is present. We need men who are strong enough to actually sit with the discomfort of what the state of the world's in, not to escape, not to run away, like, this, I can't deal with this, I gotta run away, I gotta numb myself, I gotta numb this feeling. It's really important to be able to hold space for it. Now, again, it's not to say you got to get consumed by fear and fill your reality with all the harrowing, traumatized reality of this world. No, but it's a very fundamental thing to just try to understand. Is like, we need men that are not numbing themselves, that are not running away, that are trying to sit with the pain, sit with the discomfort. Because when you do that, you'll come to some core truths. One, you'll realize you're stronger than you could ever imagine. Like, as a man, you have the capacity to hold space for discomfort. This is actually your primal core role as a man. Like, literally, this is the entire primal evolutionary role as a man, is to hold space for this, for what needs to be held, for the feminine, for what needs to be done, for the primal discomfort of just existing. But anyways, that's just neither here nor there. That's just where my mind goes, bro. Is like, it's easy to get consumed by fear. It's less common to try to step outside of fear. And it takes a very radical perspective to get to there. And I hope in time that makes sense, or, you lean towards that. But it is neither here nor there. Hey, Shay, I've been flying to British Columbia for vacation the past 2 weeks. Oh, wow. Yo, that's awesome, Mega. I wonder how behind am I in these comments. I don't know. Okay, a little bit. Not very. I mean, I don't necessarily want to ban you, Dark Lumen, because I don't want to be that guy that's just, like, thrown down the ban hammer. But again, I just wanted to put out that thought that speak with intention. I don't want to censor you, dog. I don't want to be like, oh man, like, Dark Lumen saying, I don't know, controversial thoughts. Like, that's okay, bro. But, realize there's a time and place. Maybe it is now, maybe it's not, maybe it's on a YouTube stream, maybe it's not. But the vast majority of the time, I'm not here to, like, teach people emotional regulation or self-awareness. Like that's a thing that you have to independently apply and hopefully practice in a YouTube stream. You know, and not to say again, you're not perfect. We're all figuring this shit out, but on the opposite side of that is if you're not practicing self-awareness or emotional intelligence to some degree, you're probably operating from a compulsive place, right? You're just like saying the first thing that comes to mind and you're just like having it control your narrative. Like you're just being like blah 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 out of maybe fear, out of whatever's on your mind. And I don't know. All I say is just maybe reflect on how you can practice a little more self awareness and intention in the words you say. You don't have to. Again, you're human, bro. You can. You got to learn these things, right which way. But anyways, and dude, that's dope. Mega Shrub. Yeah, bro. I feel very fortunate to be in British Columbia. Anyways, we're going to take a moment to record a little piece and just create some guitar riffs. Again, I know it takes a lot of focus to do these things. Honestly, I knew coming into the stream, I was like, it's likely that it's going to be tricky to really focus, but I'm going to get there. Right? I'm going to make this. All right, that'll be one riff. And see, the core thing, what I'm trying to mean is what I mean by I'm trying to focus is I'm trying to make every riff cohesively flow into the next riff. So like that's the riff, right? We have a riff. And then the second riff will interweave. So even that was a little imperfect, a little bit rushed, but still, you know what? It's got a nice feel. It's like there's elements where that sounds cohesive. It's basically looping. I'm doing looping right here. But I'm also trying to make it very like mastered, like it's studio mastered. Okay, and then the loop is ended. Okay, there we go. So it's like, sir, that was like a thing, right? It's happening. This is very inorganic, I find, for me, but, it sounds great. I was slapping myself in the face. Like we're gonna remove that little violin piece. It kind of conflicted a little bit, but it's good. It's a good piece. and that's a loop. I don't know. It's like that's kind of what I'm trying to practice here. Greetings and salutations. Welcome, brother. Welcome, dinosaur. So yeah, so that's what we're kind of playing in. You sound as high as me. Very nice. Not high. Never high on these streams. But hey, bro, we're high on life. Cool life. I mean, I was at a rave yesterday. I mean, I rave sober, but I'm high on dance, high on love. Good energy, just, high, natural highs, bro. They go deep. High on good vibes from friends and etc. Just like it is what it is. There's many highs and they're not compounds. Yeah. Hey Ashay, so this, so that. I'm way behind, but here we are. I wasn't trying to argue with you. I agree with teachings of good points. My only point is that there are so many great teachers many people promote who aren't predators. Yeah. No, honestly, bro, again, I think I'm in agreement where I'm not like, I don't know, it's again, you make strong points, bro. I'm not going to disagree. Honestly, I've heard very meek, but actually strangely enough, I've heard people talk about Osho's sort of predatory behaviors. And again, bro, I honestly, I wouldn't put it past that that behavior because he's a product of this fucked up society. Like if I'm being super honest here, is like, let's be real. If you're really paying attention what's going on in society, like you're really doing the work, so to speak, as a man, and you're looking into the behaviors how a lot of people operate, it's kind of jarring. It's very jarring, actually. It's harrowing. It's disheartening. Again, you can get consumed by it. You can be like, oh man, this world, all you see is darkness. Like it's trust. You can get very like fixated and consumed again by the reality that there's a lot of darkness in this world. It sucks. But I think as a guy that's just, sat with my own shadows and, I've had various healthy relationships and allowed myself to heal certain elements of how I perceive fear versus love versus all this gets very poetic and philosophical. But the reality is, I think we make a conscious choice in understanding, like, this is just the core essence. This has nothing to do with Osho or not, or standing with or against or his beliefs. It's just the idea is that I believe that a lot of this world has successfully programmed a lot of us, if not the mass majority, out of a deep, deep woven construct of fear. Like what I'm simply saying, and again, I was talking about this a lot the other week when I did mushrooms, the first time in like 3 or 4 months, and I was like, whoa, what a powerful, beautiful revelation. Nothing too out there or far-fetched, that I was like sitting there with my own reality of looking at my previous romantic partnership, looking at my own constructs and my own emotions, and I don't know, just the world around me. And I came to this very deep realization. I was like, how much, like, can you tell me this is just like a philosophical, psychological kind of thread I'm pulling. Can you tell me with utmost confidence, not to say again you're right or wrong, I don't know, you may have a depth of validity in what you're saying, bro, but can you say with utmost confidence, like, that every stream of what your narrative relating to, again, this example of like, but this behavior that Osho's, do you actually know, like, from the people, the persons, the perspectives, the things you've extracted, can you say that it was not programmed by fear? Like, where in all of this dimension of how you approached understanding, I don't know, Osho's character and the people that spoke about his character and, I don't know, the essence of things you don't actually know in real life, and even if you did know in real life, like, not to say, again, it's not the reality, are you actually successfully stepping outside of a programming of fear? And the sad reality is many of us are not doing that, right? Many of us are just like looking at the world through a very deeply woven, very deeply programmed lens of fear. We see the worst case scenario. We see the fear-based narratives that we've experienced through this world, which are very real in some regards, but they're only as real as what we've woven them into. Like, you watch the news or some sort of propagation or propaganda of this, that, the other. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Who knows? Like, this world is so full of fear-based programming that unless you've successfully stripped away a lot of it and actually realized what it looks like to operate out of love, Like you're feeling love. Maybe it's through a community, through a loving partner, through a healed lens. Like you're actually like, you know what? I want to see the world through love, through a lens of love. Like I'm going to be courageous enough to step outside of fear and actually understand what it looks like to see the world out of a different place. Unless you've done that, I can be confident to say, or you can be confidently assuming a lot of what you're seeing. Not again, this isn't about you per se. This is like a philosophical, psychological kind of example. A lot of what you're probably seeing is programmed to fear. Like you look in your head, and you're like, oh man, I see the worst case scenario. I see the anxiety-based, ridden, dark, shadow reflection of all these things that are all fear, all fear. And I have to say, the more I understand what fear is not real. Fear is not the reality. Like if you're watching all these news podcasts or programs, you're hearing hearsay of a person saying all these words about this person, that person, and demonizing this and breaking all these crazy narratives about, oh, but this person and that person. How much of that is actually real versus just fear-based programming? Not to say that it's not having a sliver of truth, but can you actually say with the depth of confidence that these things are actually real versus just fear-based programs or, again, illusions, as I was kind of underlining? I don't know. Trust your intuition. Trust your narrative, bro. Like, it's your process. This is your reality. It's not to invalidate anything. Like, what you feel out of fear or out of, maybe it's out of love and fear, and it's your reality. It's real. It's not invalid. But I'm saying is the mass majority, the jarring reality is a lot of us were sitting in this like woven construct of fear-based programming. It manifests as like a deep level of like paralyzing disempowerment. It manifests as anger and frustration that doesn't know how to act and how to displace. It manifests as escapism, and it manifests as numbing ourselves. Like it's so important to realize that fear on the deepest level has never been real. It's not real. Like a lot of this fear-based thing that you're just like, I feel this deep fear, and it just like makes me perpetuate more fear and project that fear. A lot of that, if you were to unravel those threads, like if you were to really get to the core center of what is underneath a lot of these things, they're literally illusionary. And it's really crazy to think about, but it's an important thing to see. Anyways, we'll do some sort of, I don't know. My rosin. I actually lost my proper rosin, so I have this like weird little broken violin rosin. I need to purchase another one. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I think moving forward from this moment, we're gonna focus our energy on creating these meditative journeys. I hope just a universal message. Those that watch this can allow themselves to reflect on, yes, there are fear-based narrations or narratives that are important to think about, and I respect anyone, Dark Lumen, you included, brother, of course, that is thinking about these things. You're just like, let's think about these things, let's talk about these things, like let's be real and authentic with what we need to communicate. But that being said, I think it's so important not to get consumed and acknowledge that fear is a program that is ever present and prevalent in a lot of how we are experiencing things. Fear is not the reality. It's not the way things are at the deepest level. It's just something that is often used to control and manipulate. And I don't know, food for thought. But we're going to take some time to just focus on creating this meditative portal here. Maybe do a bit of meditation myself, because I haven't done my extensive meditation. I meditated when I woke up, but I would love to just sit with the energy here and let this kind of flow from this place. Testing. I don't know, but we're improvising fully. And for those of you too, I have released some videos of just like, the direction of this channel. I mean, it is what it is. How do I copyright music? You mean like how do you get copyright rights? I think I have no idea, honestly, bro. I haven't copyrighted my own stuff yet, or like done, created a licensing. That's the word you're probably looking for. I don't know how to license music. I think you just gotta purchase a license for your specific thing. Yeah. It's not fear based. It's having a moral compass. Yeah. Yeah. Which was that. Right. Interesting. I'm tripping right now. What's good, Effie? Appreciate you here, brother. I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot there, bro. I understand trust, bro. I respect and I get having a moral compass. And I'm not saying, like, your moral. Let's be real here. This is a thing I really love to think about. We're not going to get too deep in this because I could talk about this for a long time. But we want to return to our, center. Is moral frameworks are something that is like it's ever evolving. It's growing and it's being structured based on so many things that we have to continuously basically practice and adopt and evolve. A moral framework. It's not about being like, all right, I have a moral compass, you don't have a moral compass, I have ethical awareness, you don't have ethical awareness, blah, blah, blah. Like, it gets we could get in some sort of weird paradoxes, getting fixated on what a moral compass or ethical framework or moral framework is. It's more important that you understand what it actually looks like to successfully build and formulate a moral framework that is actually moral in nature. Like one that is not, I would say, and again, what your moral framework is may look a little different based on your own individualistic experiences versus my moral framework, but I think the more I understand like morality and ethics and blah blah blah, it's a very exquisite paradox. Like to be perfectly honest, like if you're a person that is like fixated on being like, but this is moral, this is not moral, and you're judging and shaming, and you're locked in this kind of like framework that is ultimately maybe straying away from actually being a moral person, actually practicing morality and integrity and blah blah blah. It's almost like you have to actually understand intimately what it looks like. Like again, this kind of centers around what I was talking about like 5 minutes ago. Is as a man, it's important to understand the importance of holding space for the shadows of humans. Not judging your fellow human being because they're showing up imperfectly. Not to say, again, get consumed by the darkness of all this humanity and, just like live a life where you're, you know, just engaging in the shadows of humanity. But I think it's important to realize that you have to be able to hold space for things that are, well, the shadow expressions of yourself. Like it's like kind of like what Carl Jung says is like if you don't hold space for the opposition of yourself, it will control you. It's like the very embodiment of that. I kind of paraphrase that, but it's like it's very Carl Jungian-esque. Is like I think morality really comes down to how you show up when it's important. Morality isn't just being like, but man, I hold this opinion and like, this is everything that's against my moral framework. Maybe it's in some regards. Maybe that's you figuring it out. But I think, having a moral framework and structure is something that you develop based on how you show up in your actions. Basically, if you're presented with moral quandaries, which we all are, over and over and over again. Again, I'm not an expert on this. This is just my 2 cents. It's important to see how are you actually showing up when it matters. It's not about like, being like, I speak behind this moral, I don't know, framework, and this is, you're shaming and judging people that don't fit your moral framework. It's about how are you actually embodying that moral framework? How are you actually showing up when it matters for that? And guess what? That's a thing that only you truly can actually truly integrate and understand. Like unless a person's watching your intimate thoughts and how you operate behind closed doors, only you truly understand if you are truly operating in alignment with some sort of morality. So it's more important not to just like express it and just try to like almost judge and shame and demonize people for what they do or do not. It's more important what you are doing, how you're showing, embodying these things. And again, philosophical discussion is beautiful. Like I'm all for it, but I would say like moral compass is not, these aren't like mutually exclusive things. Like being like, but I can see outside of fear doesn't mean that, like, you're choosing to see something beyond fear has nothing to do with how your moral compass is or is not. But anyways, I could talk about this crap in a weird, mind-bending, paradoxical direction, all day long, and I love to, but this is not what the stream is here for. I want to take a moment to play my, so far what we've created in our little meditative guitar thing on Ableton here. Just hear into this. Oh, gotta play the start, I think. I don't meditate often to my own stuff, but it has a meditative quality. It does seem like it has a meditative quality. Yeah. Anyways, moral frameworks, morality, morality, morality. Yes, yes, yes. Good things to think about. I respect my fellow human being that is thinking about these things. Yeah, you're doing great. Pretty insightful, friend. Hey, cheers. I appreciate that. I don't know. Again, I'm not like a moral philosophy expert, or even like I would consider myself a student of those things. Like, I don't read moral philosophy. I'm just intrigued. I read lots of philosophies, of course, but for whatever reason, maybe it's just because I often am very curious and very, I would say, actively, you know, taken away by what we would say is displays of, you know, lack of morality, or lack of integrity and this and that, whatever that means. I don't know. I mean, it means many things. I know kind of what that means to me. But I'm very much a student of these things, experientially. I love thinking about these things. I love introducing awareness to moral quandaries and how people show up in this. I don't know. It's just a thing I've always been very curious of. And so I love to talk about these things. I love to think about and reflect these things. And it's important. As a human being, as a man, especially, again, kind of centering back to my core thought is, without going in too many intellectualized tangents, it's just, this world needs humans that are not running away, that are not trying to escape, not trying to numb themselves, but are trying to be present. Men particularly. We need men that can hold space for the discomfort. Where is the discomfort often? It exists in a lot of the sort of like broken dimensions of integrity. It exists in people, I don't know, operating under very morally skewed places, or just, operating out of alignment, or who knows, out of disempowerment. People that forget, I don't know, what the purpose of being a human is, or just, don't know how to just be a decent human being, whatever that is to you, just one that is aligned with whatever it is to be a good human being. And it's not about how you show up versus you not. It's not like, I'm showing up now better than this, I'm higher above this. No, no, no. It's about having some dimension of awareness. What is the raw mode of consciousness? The self that is floating and present, that is observing all these things that are occurring. How much awareness can you possess amidst the chaos of this human experience? I think, and that's a important thing to realize, because again, this is a very like almost mind-bending thing that people can get fixated on. It's like you get caught on what it means to be this versus that, and maybe you judge or you're demonizing this versus that, and this. It's like, how much awareness can you actually hold behind your own individualistic actions? Like, in the midst of being or engaging in things that might present moral quandaries, like, okay, you see something that's maybe unethical, or you experience something in the real world. Unethical things are happening all the time. Moral quandaries, again, happening all the time. How can you as a person be an observer for approaching these things? How can you act from a place that is maybe, I don't know, offering some sort of healthy lens that is just introducing more awareness to it? Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's getting very, very verbose. Verbose, what a word. But, yeah, reality is, it's all about awareness. I don't think morality and ethics is a thing to fixate too much on being like, but it's this versus that's very individualistic, but it's all about awareness. Like, in when you're in the fire of your own sort of shadow self, how much awareness, how much grace, how much reverence, how much, I don't know, again, sort of circling around, how much can you remove yourself from a fear-based narrative and truly hold space for a love-based resonance in these things? Like, it's just all about awareness. I don't know. The same thing as the principle Donnie Darko said with fear and the love spectrum. Yeah, bro. I mean, the love versus fear thing is been poetically and philosophically articulated by many, many, many people. Many art literates. It's a core truth. That I forget exactly the first place I ever heard, that kind of argument, or that's, that place of like, it might have been some like Eckhart Tolle or Alan Watts-esque. Maybe no, I think a lot of it was, what's his name? Thich Han Nhat. I think Thich Han Nhat was one of the core speakers that I think articulated a lot to do. I mean, he's taking it from many Eastern philosophies, but I really think it rings true. And it's not because I'm just reading this and being like, yes, I agree with these philosophers. I do agree with these philosophers and literates. But it's a thing when you see it. Like, when you look at your reality. And the harrowing thing about this was when you understand what it means to see beyond fear. Let's be real here. The way you often come to this conclusion, and this isn't rocket science, a lot of us, if you come to a rock bottom in your life, where you're processing grief, you're looking at the harrowing dimensions of reality in your life, and you're experiencing a lot of like harrowing, complex emotions, it's only when you experience exquisite amounts of sorrow and grief, like you hit this place where you're just like, there's no way that this is real. There's no way that all this fear, all this pain, all this sorrow is the depths of what is. Like, it's only when you experience exquisite amounts of pain and sorrow and grief and fear-based sort of constructions where you actually can see, that there's no way this is real. Like, this isn't real. And it's almost like you have to hit a rock bottom to see that, to realize that your pain, your grief, your fear-based constructions that's holding you in the suffering is not necessarily real. It's all a construction. And I don't know, it's almost like, I guess, like a form of ego death to see beyond fear. And I'm not to invalidate, like, fear, pain, we all experience it. The programming's real. We're in 3D. We're going to experience it, and we still will experience it. But, you know, it's a thing that I think is important to try to sit with. Let us start again this loop. Oh, no, 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 okay. Wrong key, wrong key. We're an A sharp minor, so it's a strange key. It's a strange key. So we were here. And that's the loop. Nice hat, dude. Thank you. Search, oh boy, A. Obly. Listen to him. He's easy to play, but too addictive. Request. Interesting. Ah, interesting. I'll give him. I'll look into him. I'm in sort of the midst of something, but I'm gonna look into it, dog. Hey, it's been a while. How's it going? Hey, what's good, Savage? It's been reality. I mean, lots of introspection, lots of love, I would say, in my reality. You know, just like from community, from people in my life. Um, lots of dancing, lots of music writing. Uh, yeah, really just trying to crystallize, like kind of like the essence of what I'm doing right now today and have been the last couple days. I'm really trying to focus on creating very comprehensive meditative journeys with, beautiful visuals. Much like I released the last, day, I released a little thing yesterday. Feel free to check that out on my channel, long for my YouTube. But the idea is I'm trying to basically expose the algorithm to a very specific form of my content, which is just going to be maybe 1 minute, 2 minute, maybe more meditative journeys that have like little nature elements and, visually pleasing components, philosophies, and just putting those out as much as humanly possible. Probably maybe 5, 6 days a week, maybe 7, just non-stop. I'm just gonna just gun out these long format videos of a similar nature to let the algorithm register what exactly I'm doing and just do these as much as humanly possible because they seem good, they feel good. I love making them. I feel like they resonate a lot. It's very comprehensive, so that's kind of my focus. I'm like, all right, let's go. Please bless the YouTube algorithm. I don't know. YouTube is a mind fuck, but I think I can do it. I think I can do some beautiful things with content. Thank you for the music and words. Thank you for listening, P. Yeah, thank you for listening, P Green. Yeah, that's all rest of that. Now find what is truly true to yours and do it. Notice the thought, and then, if it is right, do it. The thoughts arrive one by one. That's a beautiful perspective. That is a beautiful perspective. I agree. It's very, very reminiscent or very resonant with what I've felt. Like even in this moment, right? The last couple of days I was doing streams, well, like a few days back, I think, where I'm literally just chilling in the forest, in the valleys, just meditating, talking about meditation, philosophies. But the core essence of what I was doing was literally just, oh, let's click the play button for that. We were just holding space, for meditation, like embodying in real time, giving oneself permission to just be. I love that 68. 68.05. That's that resonance. It's this baby. Low ohm. Such a beautiful sound when it's played through the mic. Testing, testing. Yeah, such a great tuning fork. Not a very common one though. You've called, announced the hat back. Wow, people just talking about the hat. I don't know, bro. Trust. I love this hat. It's literally Scandinavian art. It's ancient Scandinavian art. Yeah, woven into a beanie. Like, bruv. I don't know. What's there not to like, dog? Been sitting with for 7 months now. I don't know, Robin Hunter. If morality is relative, then there is no good and bad. Where do we get our morals from? Oh, whoa. I love where your mind is at, dog. Crowley, do as you will. Ah, of course, Crowley, nice. Morality is relative, he says. Okay. Man, that goes deep. Now, relativity. I don't think morality is necessarily... I was kind of in relation to proportion to something else. Yeah, no. That's that's the thing. That's actually where I was coming from in various parts. Sure, a construction of some sort of dimension of morality. Like if you're a person, you're a child or an infant or an adolescent or whatever. Adolescent is the word I was looking for. And you're kind of construct any sort of construct of morality. It's basically you're a new philosopher of sorts. You know, you're learning philosophical context, you're learning about this, that, the other, like foundations of things. You can maybe apply some sort of relative model of morality, but I would say, to be perfectly honest, morality is not, in many rights, relative. It's not a relative thing. You're not being like, but is this related to that? Therefore, I am moral. Like, like, because I showed up in this way, I am therefore moral. Like, I think there's a much deeper construct at play that more has to do with, I guess we could say in a sense, like it's like a subjective relationship that suspends the idea of, I don't know, it's morality is relative. And where do we get our morals from? Now, I mean, obviously, in some rights, obviously we get our morals from society. But this is the thing, again, this is where I would say why I think it's not necessarily relative, is yes, a lot of us, like, the more question, this is what I would more say. It's not about where do we get our morals from, it's like, I would say the more pressing question, like if we're to pull this stream of thought or pull this thread, sorry, is why do many of us not already intuitively possess a healthy level of morality? Like, why are so many of us immoral? What translates into immorality? Like, why are so many people in a society that in many rights promotes, advocates, and to some degree, it's like a mutually understood thing. It's like most of us, we agree on some surface level. Yes, it means it is beneficial to have some sort of level of morality. Like societally, we have some sort of contract where we desire to operate from some sort of greater good, to do good to our fellow human being. This is some sort of societal contract that we might believe is present. But why, amidst the awareness that morality is a value that a lot of us do hold true, why do a lot of us operate from an immoral place? Like, why do a lot of us we fail to successfully approach moral quandaries with, I would say, a healthy lens? Like, there's like a thing that's like testing your morality. You're like, oh, here's an ethical or moral quandary of being like, oh, but is this the good choice, the right choice? What is the right decision? And I think this comes down to, in some rights, this maybe I'm tangenting a bit, is what does it mean to make a good decision? What does it mean to be rooted in a healthy awareness of how to make good decisions? Have an awareness behind what your decisions, what they're rooted from. What are the intentions and the underlying intention and even the motivator of your decisions? Like, if a person fundamentally is immoral or not, or if they understand relativity to morality, that's a good place to, develop a framework. But the more is like, can you make, even fundamentally, like, what is your decision making ability? Like, can you make good decisions versus not? And for men, and in women, of course, an extension, but particularly for men, I would say it's the cornerstone of understanding how to, one, penetrate, the essence of this immoral, maybe, framework that is prevalent in society, and understand how to, I don't know, facilitate something differently. Is like, how do you make decisions? Why do you make decisions? Do you make intelligent decisions? What are these decisions rooted on? Can you confidently say that you are one that understands how to be decisive and, again, make intelligent decisions for the greater betterment of XYZ, of your family, of yourself, of the greater good, blah, 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 right? It's like, I think it more comes down to, why are people fundamentally operating from an immoral framework? Why is immorality such a common thing? That's because in many rights, people don't know how to make decisions. Or an extension, as a man, speaking from a man's lens, many men have forgotten or don't understand fundamentally how important it is to make intelligent decisions. They don't understand the weight of the decisions. They don't understand what it means to be decisive and why, in fact, making decisions is so important. Like, you're like, oh, so let us do this versus this. Are you decisively aware of why, what is the ramifications? What is the consequence of said decision? Right? So it's like, it's more of like a question of, do people understand what is, I say, decisiveness and how to make good decisions versus bad decisions? And again, that doesn't exist in a sort of simple framework. It doesn't exist in a relativity of being like, I make good decisions because I believe they're good decisions. It's like, are you making decisions that are translating into the greater betterment of the people around you, of society, of your family, of the growth as a man or as a person, right? It's like there's a greater depth of things that I think are rooted in why are people immoral? Because maybe they suck at making decisions. Maybe because they don't understand the weight of the decisions. They don't understand the consequences of their decisions. They've maybe fundamentally in some way gone awry in understanding the importance of making intelligent decisions in their life. And they become the product of a malalignment or a complete disconnect of what it means to be decisive or make healthy, intelligent decisions. And then naturally they sort of bud into this realm that might stray from the morality, even if they believe they're being moral, even if they're like, yes, I understand morality, society, the contract is that we desire to honor the greater good, but their ability to actually make decisions that align with the greater good, that align with what it actually means to be moral, is skewed. And when they show up in their everyday reality, where moral quandaries are presented in front of them, their actions contradict what they really know because they don't know how, on some fundamental level, to operate in alignment with being decisive. I don't know if that makes sense, but all I'm saying is decisions are important. I would say. Love you, brother. Heath Ledger. Yeah, bruv. Heath Heath is smiling down. Heath is smiling down on all of us, because, Heath was a gem. Honestly, bro, I strangely enough, people tell me I look like Heath, and I found myself very enamored with Heath Ledger, like looking into who he was and, how his life was and how his acting career was and how he passed away very tragically. And it kind of it blows my mind, man. Heath was a very interesting dude. He was a flawed human being, like he was just a dude. But man, he was a very rare soul. So rest in peace, Heath, brother. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Oh no. Yes, lots of mistakes. I swear I say this many times, but the actual weird paradox of like trying to play guitar meditatively is like you got to be focused. You got to be focused not to make mistakes. But you also got to relax enough where it is meditative, where you're not trying to fixate. That's kind of the whole dance we're trying to do right here on a stream as we're creating meditative guitar. We're trying to focus enough, just enough, to play the guitar successfully, but also disconnect and surrender enough to not be fixated on anything. Not to fixate on the perfectionism that naturally is a kind of the foundation of how I am. It's great. It's so great. Hopefully for those of you that also struggle from perfectionism, it's a strength. It's a strength to be a perfectionist in some level. It's a complex. You got to surrender eventually. You got to let it all go. You got to be like, oh, right, everything is not perfect and never will be, and that's beautiful. But what a strength. What a beautiful strength to have, to fixate on things. We don't want that, though. We don't want that. Alright, we're gonna try to... Yeah. Even that's man, it can, when you really get down to it, like especially as a guitarist, you can get so very focused on the littlest details. Like there's a lot to focus on, and you just kind of have to learn to let it go. How do you clean your belly button? I don't know, bro. I have no idea. I have an Audi. I'm a twin. High preach, brother. Keep cracking the walnuts. Nice. Yeah, bro. That's honestly the whole essence of all this. Like, if we're gonna talk about, as we are, a little bit of morality, a little bit of philosophy, and this, that, and I don't know, decisions, blah, blah, blah. It's like all I'm really trying to advocate and invite is just trying to show you that it's good, it's okay to talk, it's beautiful to talk about these things. Like it's very welcome. Like the core essence of morality, if I were to summarize, is again, it's sort of what I was saying 5 minutes ago. Man, there's so much dust in my singing bowl. It's awareness. It is literally awareness. It is genuinely like being like, how as a human being, we are all flawed. We're all humans. We all are 3D human beings. We're a product of polarity. We will fall short, blah, blah, blah. Like, reality is we are polar beings. We are our shadows. We are everything that is, we're all of it. But the reality is if you, amidst everything, the intellectual mind, intellectual mind can be like, but this versus that and this and that, there's so much to, try to make sense of. If you can just at least introduce awareness, like just have that awareness, just be like, okay, I'm an observer of all this and witness it all. Just think about these things. Introduce awareness to philosophical dimensions. Like this is just philosophy at the heart of it, of course. The philosophy practice is just thinking. It's exercising the ability to think freely and discern and have open discussions and yeah. So, of course, when we're talking about moral philosophy, in a sense, it's beautiful. It's like you've already, I commend and respect my fellow human being that has desired to pull those threads. That's all you got to do, friend. Like, the beauty is like, in the realm of philosophy, some people, I don't know, I've never adopted a stance where I've ever felt anything but natural love and reverence for philosophy. Like in many rights, it's just such a fun, beautiful world that I've always been very attracted to, at least since I was like 14 or whatever. But in essence, philosophy is simple. You just think. You let yourself pull those threads. You pull those philosophical threads. See where it goes. Like you're just like, don't even have to really think about it. Like you're just like, let us philosophize about existence and metaphysics. Like, if you were to exercise philosophical thinking, just like what is the nature of infinity? Like why? What is the nature of what is beyond the mind? What are the limitations of the mind? Like what is beyond this human experience, or who knows? Like it's just like there's no real right or wrong way to do it. The second you're doing it right because you're just thinking. Like the second if you try to like curve that and be like, but I'm doing it so incorrectly, or that person is so ignorant to blah 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 blah. It's like, well, you're probably not philosophizing. You've probably lost a little bit of the point. Is everyone's entitled to their own philosophical context and to learn whatever way that is. They're pulling the threads. They're trying to make sense of it, and that's what the heart of, intelligent arguments are. It's like a person's like, this is what I believe. This is what you believe. Well, let's oh, disconnected, reconnected. But yeah, it's like here's my perspective, here's your perspective. Let's try to see the deeper truth in both of these things. Yeah. Oi, yo, what's poppin', Tenacity? Those low hums. Nice. Yeah, bro, the low hums. Bro, that's what I swear is what I'm doing here with a lot of the sound journeys I've been making today before I was on the stream and as I'm kind of just playing. It's bass. These are very low vibrations. And I'm just trying to listen very deeply. It's like that's the wave, right? You hear that wave. And the weird thing is, again, you can get very locked in on these, where it's like, here we are. And that's the end of it. And then where's the next one? Well, it's coming. Now it's just going again. Oh, I didn't even hit record. Oh, no, I did it. No. Oh, my light was... Okay, whatever. That's yeah. And that's the end of that one. And then it's just like, okay, well, then I can open a new channel as we do. Yeah, those tails are very long, and that was that. So then that's how this is here. We can just like... I just riff. It's a very patient game. So we go to here, we'll go there, and maybe here. So riff now for a second here to what we got. The ultimate loops. Oh, it's not that, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yo. Yeah, but hope you've been well. Hope you've been well. Yeah, hope you've been well, Tenacity. What's poppin'? What is poppin'? There's a good book called Strategic Decision Making. Damn, that sounds like a great book. I honestly need a lot of. There's a lot of books of that relation, like relating to like I don't know how to describe it, like psychology, I guess, but like how that relates to like moral philosophies and I don't know relationship dynamics and social dynamics. There's a lot of good books out there. In truth, there's a lot of books that I really need to read. Combine the book of how to measure anything. Interesting. Did I help that person just to help or be seen as helpful? Ah, yes. Yes. Well, that's kind of the essence of like that. Yeah, that beautifully weaves into so much of what I've been talking about. I don't know. I swear I could literally talk about moral philosophies like for hours and never get tired. But then it wouldn't be a very comprehensive stream. But yeah, bro, was it helping that person help? It's again similar to the fun little paradox of selflessness versus selfishness that Osho likes to underline, but this, far extends beyond Osho's kind of interpretation in the book, or it's like, yeah, it's morality of like, are we like, you have to sort of break down almost like your intentions or your moral awareness behind of what it means of why you're helping somebody, or, if necessarily, yeah, after you're doing, I guess, if it's to help that person to be seen as helpful, yeah, it's like, yeah, it goes in many directions, but I love that stuff. I love that stuff. What is good? Welcome, Stars. Stars the Elite 7. Did you take LSD? Do I take LSD? Do I take it? Yeah, I take it lately. Every like couple weeks, I've been doing a microdose for like the last month. So I got like a vial of LSD. Honestly, I didn't take LSD for many years. Like I kind of was like more of a proponent of psilocybin, but I've been a fan of LSD. And long story short, I've been talking about this nonstop, and I probably shouldn't talk too much about substance this and that. I mean, psychedelics are obviously psychedelics, but naturally, my meditative practice has skyrocketed since I basically did a microdose, a microdose of LSD that was like 1.5 ml, which is just on the perimeter of where a microdose is more considered a macro dose. And I did this LSD, this liquid LSD, and I went into a field and meditated for an hour and a half, which is the longest I've ever meditated in my life. And actually, ever since then, I've been meditating every single day for the last 8 days for about roughly 45 minutes to an hour, in maybe sometimes 10, 20-minute, 30-minute sessions. But the idea is ever since that hour and a half meditation session, for whatever reason, I've never been able to do this in my life. Like, I swear, I was a dude that could barely meditate for more than like 1 or 2 minutes. Like, I would try, I'd get caught in my mind, I'd have to scratch myself, or my spine would feel uncomfortable, or whatever, my posture. And I would be like struggling just to meditate for 5 minutes. Pretty much every single time I meditate now, I slip into like a 10-minute meditation session, at least. And then I can stretch that into 10, 20, 30 minutes, and I do that multiple times throughout the day. Game changer. Game changer for my sleep, game changer for falling asleep, for falling back asleep, game changer for so many things. And even in this stream, I've been taking little moments, namely when I'm listening to the meditative sessions that I'm making, because that's helpful, of course. But I've been like being like, yo, what? Why not just completely just disconnect? I love that 68.5. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, there's my but there's a microphone for me. Hearing, seeing, feeling into a heightened state. Awareness. Actually, I need to get my gong. I have a gong over here. Let's grab our gong. This might be a nightmare to set up a little bit. Or maybe not. Yeah? Basically, I hang the gong here. Right about here, as you can see. So it's very easy to... Maybe we'll hit the record button for our gong here. Probably grab that. That was a little bit harsh. That was just a test. Yeah, our test. Oh, that's actually really good. That still sounds good. That still sounds great. We'll do a fresh take. Yeah, so there we go. You gotta hang the gong in such a way where it's not kind of leaning too far forward. It's a little bit of an art form. lost it. But yeah, Joker. But yes, LSD is grand. Volume may be a little bit overwhelming for you guys. I'm not sure. Let's listen. Listen. I'm just gonna open up the window. So that's maximum volume. My speakers also suck. I guess yeah. If you're not maximum speaker, I could probably keep it on a minimal speaker. Well, turn it down just so it's not so loud, maybe to make it. Yeah. Light. Clips out a bit, the volume on that vocal piece. It's a little bit clippy. A little sloppy there. But yeah. Just make it simple, improvise off of it. It's always the art of looping is so inorganic, where I always just want to improvise stuff, but looping is a different art. Especially recording meditative loops. It's all about the nuances. Little details. And it makes sense. When I was chilling, just kind of meditating, I was like, yeah, the little details really matter. The little details. Very nice. I didn't record that, but I shall. Oh, didn't record that either. It seems like it's all the art of just like of like waiting. It's the waiting game of like, okay, but I want to play a note, but it's like, no, 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 just don't do that. Oh, we went past. We went way past. It's not even there. No. No. Very overwhelming. Bro got into the mushrooms. Not recently. Not recently, but I should. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I should do some mushrooms. It's been at least a week or two. And they've been treating me very well. Here we go. Oh no! It's so gentle. It's so gentle, the violin here. It sucks. No. Okay, let's start a riff maybe with it. With the violin. Yeah, I like that. So then we do this. No, we gotta get the harmonics. Ooh, yeah. Nice. So this is kind of what we're doing. It fell. Yeah. I gotta find a better way to stand that. It just flops. Damn, that's cool though. That's just, I don't know. That could just do whatever it wants to do. Huh. It almost seems like that would be a good video intro. I think that's maybe a wise thing to experiment with. Something I haven't thought about for a while, but how brilliant is it to make a hook? When you start like even if it's like 4 meditative journeys, like to just give a little taste, a teaser in the first like couple seconds, just like in a little, opening intro riff, when I can maybe show my brand or whatever and just like whap and just show this dope little riff so people just get a taste of what's going to happen. That's probably the move. I used to do that a lot when I was early in YouTube, just like intro hooks and riffs. Seems wise. Gotta really pull the G minor into a deep sort of tone, like the popping off. It's popping. Of the like popping, it's deep sound. Nice. 38 on Thursday. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I'm 32 tomorrow. Yeah, I turn 32 tomorrow. Yeah. It's a good time to be. Monday, 78 in Australia. Dude, that's legendary. What's poppin' Australia? I'm very behind, I imagine, in the comments, but blessings, Australia. Your voice is lower. My voice. My voice is lower. Huh. Do you have do you have health insurance? I don't think so, but I can sign up for it. Yo, thank you, Sean, for like, health insurance is for the wealthy over here. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, I know there's government. Oh no, I'm thinking dental insurance. Yeah, I don't think I have health insurance, but we're in Canada though. We're in Canada. Most medical stuff is free. That's yeah, health insurance in Canada is free for all of us. Word, that's right, that's true. Yeah, man, I can't even imagine. Honestly, I mean, this is obviously just random as shit, but like, I really cannot imagine. And I empathize for parts of the world. Like that Luigi Mangione or Luigi, whatever his name was. The fellow that shot the dude and all that crazy stuff. It's just the farce of not having health insurance and being like, very much, yeah, just man, health insurance industry just seems chaotic. I don't know, chaotic. I don't know. I'm Canadian, so I'm very fortunate to have free health insurance. But yeah, do I know any Bowie? No, I do not. How's my spine now? I've improved. Ah, wow. Ah, spinal, man. Yeah, spinal health's so important, man. I get like minor, like if I like meditate for hours or like train a lot, I sometimes get little tension in my spine, and it just reminds me, like, man, I really desire to do everything in my power to have a healthy spinal cord. But I'm sure yoga is magic. Just scroll onto this guy and he's got talent galore. All right, thank you, brother. Welcome. Yeah, we're just doing some crazy loops where I'm just looping sounds. Most of this, I might just use what I just created as like an intro riff. It's like you click on a long format video and I'll have like maybe my brand name, just say a Shay or something, or who knows, my philosophy, and I'll have that little this, I think, because it's a nice sound. I have to master it a little bit, but it'll probably be about start it. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's not bad. I don't know. I can probably do better, but it's nice. I like how it progresses into this. It's very gentle. Or even just right into here maybe is the hook or the intro. Master that bit, lower the vocal. I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. What is poppin'? Sub up. Hey, yeah, let's go. Subscribers, subscribe. Yes, I don't know, bro. It's like, subscribing is like for the first like 1,000 subscribers, I was so like stoked to be like I want to hit 1,000, and once I did, I was super grateful, and I still am, of course. But it's interesting because now I look at it, I'm like I just want to get long format YouTube views and go nuclear. However the hell that happens, it's not easy. It's not even. I don't know if it's ever even gonna happen. I'm in this place where I'm like, I'm happy with what I'm doing, YouTube musically and whatever, but in the real world. But it's interesting. I don't really have much control. It seems like really the ultimate picture in how I'm received in a larger construct. Like, I don't know when, if it'll ever happen, if I'll wake up one day and some of my videos will ever just go and get hundreds of thousands or even just tens of thousands of views. I have a plan. Like, I think I know how to do this. I think if I were to like really just grind out like 30 days or maybe 25 days out of 30 days, just put out high quality songs with little beautiful visuals and just be consistent basically and really focus long for my YouTube algorithm. I think the algorithm would adjust. Like, it would eventually figure out, okay, wait a second, this guy is doing this. And because I've never truly been that consistent. I've consistently put out content, but I've never been like consistent to a very specific dynamic that I just can bang out every day for like a month or two. So if I feel like I unlock that, I could successfully go somewhere with the long format algorithm. But at this point, it feels like I'm just like, screaming into the oblivion, so to speak. Or into the void. Where it's like, I'm like, yes, this is what I do, but I get like 50 views, and I'm like, damn, like that's it. that's my reach. But I don't know. It's a process. It's a process many YouTubers struggle with for a while until they don't. And I'm in it for the long game, so. If anything, like I've been recently establishing, I made a gig salad. I don't know, it's not really relevant for those that are not local, but basically, it's a thing where I am now accepting gigs. Where I'm basically being like, my services are I do guitar and make these like meditative, atmospheres for various types of gigs. I actually made this the other day. Pretty stoked, actually. Gig salad is something I was using for a while for like acrobatic and fire performance and circus stuff. And not really that successful with that, truthfully. But I feel really good about Gig Salad in this regard. So with any luck, I have my YouTube linked up to my Gig Salad. It's kind of just it's a nice little layer. If there's people that want to hire me for a gig, they can be like, word, let's go to this guy's YouTube. There's live streams. There's live music. There's this, there's that. It's just like an immediate, beautiful avenue for people to get a window into what I can do. Honestly, not a clue. Yeah. I'm in the epicenter of how I operate is I'm not a cover artist. I don't do covers. I really don't desire to. I mean, I've done covers, of course, in my life for many years for fun. And I do covers sometimes for fun. But I've kind of just like a rule of thumb. I focus strongly on original compositions, improv, just like intricate realms that is everything that covering music is not. And that's just, I don't know, that's just how I do. It's what's fun to me. I have much more fun, orchestrating and composing music than covering music. And it's just, I don't know, that's just what I enjoy. And it's never really, hasn't really changed a whole lot. I don't really have any desire to become a cover artist. Ooh, need more rosin for that. Oh, yo, what is good? What is good? OPT. Wow, it's been 2.5 hours. Really doesn't feel like it's been 2.5 hours. I guess that's what happens when you meditate and do meditative improv on your streams. You just time doesn't exist anymore. It's just whatever. Yoga is pondering how the finite mind can understand its finite consciousness. Not so much stretching. It's like modern Western yoga. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I honestly, it's a thing that I've yet to really deeply explore. I mean, I'm really into qigong and qigong philosophy, and as of late, like meditation heavily, as just like extensive periods. I've been very fortunate to engage in that. But also part of what I've been meditating for usually about an hour a day, usually in like 30, 40-minute sessions, sometimes 10, 20-minute sessions. I noticed that I'm like, I have to do yoga now. Like, I have to do just like, little 5, 10-minute sessions of like um, child's pose and, I don't know, downward dog and all those little poses that I like to do for the spine. Because when you meditate for long periods of time, it's just like you gotta have that spinal health. But I've never really dipped into the deeper dimensions of like yogic philosophy. Really, just not at all, really. But I think it's beautiful. I think it's actually really extraordinary. And I believe in it all. Haven't really warmed up those higher percussive boat notes. Not very well. Beautiful. All right. Wow, it's so weird looking at my own stream on my YouTube live page. Look at this guy. Very strange. Just, what is this? It is me. So weird. Yeah. It's a nice little hook, but it's funny. Even like I was saying before I did the streaming and trying to do like meditative improv. Like I made a few really good riffs, mainly before I started the stream. I'll probably start and play at the starting of what I did. But it's kind of a paradox. It requires like such immense focus and relaxation usually to create meditative music. So to do it live is a little bit of a challenge, but it works. Because it's all about being very patient and conscious of all of those sounds. I'm just gonna meditate to my meditative stuff. is probably the one I'll release this after the stream. I'll just like do some visual editing or audio, or just edit some, I don't know, pictures of forests and oceans, or I don't know, some philosophies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's always funny. I mean, just out. The weird paradox of being like, I am on a stream, but I'm also just meditating. I'm just It's great. Okay, yeah, that was great. That's a good one. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I mean, I know I was gonna call my original composition 0 Point. It was another composition called 0 Point, but I could call that one 0 Point because it's nice. It's all very woven into a sort of 0 point capacity. All right, where's my striker? Wow, that feels good. Meditating on a stream. What a great time. Honestly. But yeah. I can't stop. Great. Very nice. Ha ha ha. Ah. Whoa. I'm gonna throw you one of those. What is it? Yeah. So we can hide user or put in timeout. There's 10 minutes. There you go, brother. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, shit. Drop my tingsha. Yeah, but what a beautiful experience. Just being in meditation on a stream. It's peak human existence. You know, picture when I have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and I'm making these meditative journeys, pulling in paychecks, just sitting there meditating. Maybe like sit in the forest, staring into nothing. I don't know, just playing pan flutes. That's peak human existence. And you too can do this. You can, I don't know, sit in forests and meditate on a stream if you wanted to. do not play bass. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go, Environ. Appreciate you, brother. I've played the bass guitar before. My dad has a bass. That's kind of his focus. He doesn't really play a lot anymore, but I mean, I play his bass. I have played it before. I'm just not haven't played a lot of bass. I would like to. I'd like to play more bass just for the fun of it, because bass is awesome. Bass notes are beautiful. But for me, I'm very attracted to the guitar. Like guitar is like that's my modality. It's my specialty. There's just so much fun, so much stuff you can do. Let's just hit this button. No, 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 no. Let's hit the button here. No, let's just do. Oh no. That's the wrong harmonic. Enjoy hanging out there, here. That's awesome, bro. I love that, honestly. The combos, I mean, it's great because that's my favorite element of YouTube in a sense. Like YouTubers in their own sort of unique realm, just having sort of, authentic human conversations. Like it's not, it's just, yeah. Daniel Thrasher is like a YouTuber I like to follow that I really appreciate his level of like casual YouTuberness. It's funny because like I find for a majority, it's not like everyone, you know, for lack of a better word, it's not everyone's cup of tea is the metaphor, is the phrase. To hear a guy talk about, whatever it is, like meditation or metaphysics or I don't know, moral philosophies or whatever I want to talk about, music probably, but the idea is that also doesn't really matter. For those that maybe do resonate, I'm sure it's like, it's great. It's like they're just like sick. This is like, I don't know, the human aspect, I think, of YouTube is very important. Where the music is important and the content is important. But of course, at the end of the day, it's like we're just humans, right? We're just humans. Obviously. We're just like humans in front of a screen. And it's great. Like it's kind of like the more you just authentically do whatever, and you just let other people feel that and do what they want to do, it's great. I think it's very healthy. Because too often, like, I guess the essence of what I'm saying is, in YouTube or social media land, often it's very normalized for people to forget. Like they're like uh, dehumanized in a way, where or just like the humanization is removed, where they're just like, oh yeah, it's like, there's like a performance going on. That's kind of what I'm saying, and like I think it's important to bring a presence in this channel where there's not a performance. And part of not being a performance or putting on a performance in the sense of like, a psychological kind of charade or whatever, is just like you just say whatever that is authentic to you. Because if people are being a performance, if people want to be performative, whatever, that's their prerogative. Maybe they want to put on a character and make it a weird little performative adventure. But I'm a firm advocate that for me, what I find is healthy about and refreshing in a YouTube sphere is people that are not putting on a performance. Like people that are just like, I'm gonna say whatever is on my mind, keeping it real. Doesn't matter if it's this, that, or the other. It's like they're just kind of purposely trying to penetrate the performative element of it. And also letting people know that, hey, like we are humans, you're allowed to not be performative and use this space for authenticity. You can basically use this as a space to be performative, or you can use this as a space to crack open the performative elements of how people show up and let people just see something that's the opposite of performative, something that's real to them or whatever. Oh, lost it. Lost those things. I mean, that's lost that riff. Good times on Earth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's on your mind? What questions are you asking these days? Don Byron. I'm thinking about dualities and polarities recently. Nice. Very nice. Great things to think about, P. Green. Yeah. Learning to love ourself, the good and the bad, the beautiful and the disgusting. Yeah. Gotta love yourself, bro. You know? Like, there's very, very exquisite paradoxes that are present, but the more we realize we can see ourselves and we're worthy of seeing ourselves through a lens of love, like through the lens of a lover, even. Like, you can look at all the parts of yourself where you're just like, man, that's, maybe you just don't see it with a healthy light, or just you don't see it for what it is. And it's like, I don't know. It gets very deep, but I think in some rights it's beautiful to learn and see and experience that we are worthy of seeing ourselves like we see someone we love. We're worthy of that. And when you have someone, in your life that's, be it a romantic partner or whatever, I mean, romantic partners are very good for that, where they reflect to you that level of being like, oh, wait a second, you only see my flaws or my qualities through a lens of like love. Like they're just like fucking, they just love that. They're just like, oh, it's beautiful. It's unconditionally loved. That is like, it's so beautiful and healing. Yeah. I like this. Weird key shifts, going back to not key shifting. Very nice. This is good and bad and beautiful and disgusting. The good and bad. So music helps. Yeah, music does help. Yeah. Music rocks. Yeah, music. Honestly, bro, like to this day, we should probably close. It looks like we're hitting the 2 hour and 49 minute mark. I should probably put a close to the stream. 3:43, 3:40. I think I'm probably gonna, yeah, do some meditation, do a cold plunge, eat some food, probably prepare to go to the gym. It's probably the move. This has been a great little immersion. Streams are funny. Like I feel like streams are like a kind of a dice roll with the universe, where they're always fruitful. But of course, you know, people's time and energy, it's all this like vastly intricate sort of web. But I don't know. As a YouTuber, it's kind of like it's an honor to be able to hold space for it. Oof. The riffs, though, I gotta say, the riffs are sounding great. I'm liking it. After 3 hours plus of riffing, I'm getting warmed up. Oh yes. I gotta say though, my eyes. I think my eyes are getting so tired of this backlighting. This backlighting. It's. I don't know. It's just so jarring on the eyes. Yeah. Oh man, Flight by Hans Zimmerman. I definitely cannot play that. Wow, it's a whole different world without that jar. Because it's like a neon. I got this like neon treble clef light. That's like a good backlight, but it also is just so intense. So very intense on the eyes. Magic. All right, I think we will make the executive decision to, yeah, but 3 cheers for music. Honestly, bro, yeah, music in the simplest way. I think it's funny how much, I mean, music and dance, I look at the simple difference, you know, between being like what has evolved me mentally, spiritually, just neurologically. It's absolutely astounding. Simply, I mean, it's obvious. There's research behind this for so much, but simply just like playing lots of guitar, or just playing lots of music and making music. It's just like such a powerful thing for consciousness. Like it's very, very healthy for the not just like the mind and the brain, but it's like a spiritual level. It really takes you to a place where it's like I honestly look at my own philosophical and spiritual pursuits or whatever you want to call it, like, you know, leaning into what I would consider integrate integrates itself spiritually and everything that extends off that. And I swear there's a direct parallel between my musical path, where I really feel like, you know, the journeys of being like, I'm composing this genre, I'm now leaning into creating atmospheric sound journeys and orchestrations and compositions. It's genuinely been just like a spiritual quest in itself, you know, beyond just the actual dimensions of being a human being and just living, but it's like the actuality of what's almost like what a bridge or a bridging of worlds or a bridger of worlds music, that is guitar and all the little elements of it, can be is just astounding. It's just that simple. Play guitar, expand spiritual consciousness. It seems like eventually it's like you play guitar long enough and it's going to do something very healthy for your consciousness. Yeah. It does, yeah. Lots of beauties. Like even the things that I've been doing today, like especially today, making these meditative riffs, like truly being like, I'm purposely paying very special attention to that wave, that entire note and the resonance pattern behind the note. It's still going. And it takes a very meditative approach. Magic. All right, well, I think with that, as we're hitting this 3-hour mark, yeah, brother, dance. Yeah, dance. I was at a rave last night dancing with my partner, and just freaking great times, great times. Dance is like insanely rewarding. But yeah, beautiful. With that, I think we will put a close to this stream, as we are. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Deeply appreciate the support very much. I do have a Ko-Fi if you desire to support this channel in this way. Ko-Fi link in my channel below. It's Ko-Fi ASE. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. Your presence means a lot. Your viewership and engagement. This is magic. This is beautiful, beautifully significant, I would say. And with that, feel free to subscribe to this channel. Testing. Feel free to subscribe. I don't know if this makes it more obscure. It doesn't really help. It's not really like a regular microphone setup. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Yeah, it's just like a weird announcer sound. But yeah, feel free to subscribe, brother. When might you stream next, my guy? Probably tomorrow. I know I've been kind of sleeping on streams, intentionally so, because I've been like focusing a lot on my meditative practice and my spiritual practice. Usually, that's almost always the exact reason where I'm always like, I'm not streaming because I'm taking a break from social media and YouTube and phones and sitting in the meditating in fields and I don't know, doing psychedelics. Like it's always the similar parallel. And with that, I think tomorrow, I've been back on my stream flow where I think tomorrow would be a grand day to stream. Likely, yeah, or actually, well, I don't know. We'll see. My birthday's tomorrow, so might just do a birthday stream because why not? That might be a fun way to just, do whatever. I'll probably just be hanging out. I'm not gonna do much other than just like eat food with my family. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Yeah. But yeah, magic. Appreciate you guys being here. Feel free to subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. I teach guitar dimensions. I do meditative sound journeys, among various things. I've been working on some beautiful testing. Whoa! I've been working on some sort of meditative journeys that are sort of very short and palatable, doing some cool little visuals. Probably after this stream, I'm going to edit the one I've been playing throughout the stream, do some cool little visuals. If you guys have any thoughts, if that randomly flow through, like if you guys watch, out of curiosity, if you guys watch meditative, sound journeys, you hear these kind of things, what do you feel is comprehensive? Is it just like, do you find, little visuals of nature maybe complement, or, I don't know, visuals of oceans, or I like to do like cosmic, space kind of visuals, or maybe just a single visual? Like, what do you find is comprehensive? Is it like, I don't know, I'll probably just do whatever I want to do anyways, but I'm curious. Ordox Castle mic from the Master of the Universe. It's a good mic. Resemble Heath Ledger. Yes, sir. Or ma'am, or yes, sir. Yeah. I get Heath Ledger probably like 5 times a day. It's great. Rest in peace, Heath. We love Heath Ledger. He's dope. He was a great human. But yeah, bro. If you guys have any thoughts, feel free to share, on my comments or whatever. If there's any dimensions of visuals that you find when you listen to meditative sound journeys or music that you've appreciated more so, like maybe you saw like, I don't know, visuals of a beautiful forest or some sort of, I don't know exactly, like I'm experimenting with different visual dimensions, but expect lots of sound journeys coming at you in my long format YouTube algorithm or my YouTube section. And I'm experimenting with different visual elements that I'm gonna play, through these sound journeys. So that's gonna be fun. I feel like I'm gonna release a lot of those and see if we can get traction on the long format algorithm. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. Hope you guys have a good day and a good night. and a good life, as Wim Hof would say. Yes. Bless. Ashe. Ashe. So dramatic. Dope. Yeah, remember to honor yourself and each other. Thank you, thank you. Hey, thank you, P Green. Thank you for being here, dog. Welcome to this portal. Bless. Peace. Peace out, guys. Guys and girls.